The Rio Grande Valley in the state of Texas is a firmly conservative area of the United States. They vote Republican in local elections and state elections, and of course in federal elections, and it's an area that Donald Trump carried by a significant margin. But now, those same conservative voters in the Rio Grande Valley who are getting exactly what they voted for are telling the media this will never be a red area ever again, because they are in fact being decimated by the very policies that they voted for, but they claim to have learned their lesson. Businesses running the gamut from construction to retail, leisure and hospitality, and everything in between has been destroyed in that area of the country. Why? Because of ICE. Because of the attack on immigrants here in the United States that is costing all of those industries their workers, to the point where some businesses can no longer function because they do not have workers. Now, this was not a shock, okay? Donald Trump didn't campaign on, hey, I'm not going to touch any immigrants. Don't worry about it. If you're here, you're here. If you're not, come on in. That's not what he campaigned on and then turned around and said, aha, I'm deporting all of you. No. He made it explicitly clear that he was going to do mass deportations, that he had, we want to get 20 million people out, 30 million people out. I think at one point they said 40 million people. So none of this is shocking. If you listened to the words that he said, you don't even have to be somebody that listens to the leftist media that was warning you about all the problems. All you had to do was listen to the guy you voted for, because he told you he was going to do those things, but you guys thought he wasn't going to do it to you specifically, right? Never thought leopards were going to eat my face, as you vote for the leopards eating people's faces party. And then, sure enough, the leopards ate your face. But as I said, and as I've said repeatedly, if you do the dumb thing, but you learn a lesson, I'm okay with it. I mean, I wish you hadn't done it. I'm not saying, all's forgiven, but if you do make the pledge, like I won't be doing that again ever, then you've learned from your mistakes. And that is, to a degree, commendable. And here's what they're saying. The president of the South Texas Builders Association said, this will put us out of business if it continues. Talking about the immigration raids and the mass deportations. The executive director of South Texas Builders Association said, he's not alone in his disappointment with the president's immigration enforcement, and he thinks that sentiment is setting an ominous tone for GOP prospects in the region, both in the midterms and beyond. I can guarantee you the Valley will never be red again. So this conservative area, voting for conservative policies, voting for the mass deportations and the immigration raids and all that, and they're looking at it and saying, what have we done? What did we do to ourselves by voting for these people? We were naive, we were a little foolish, and we're done. Acknowledging the mistake, pledging to not make the mistake again in the future. Those are the two criteria needed, at least in my book. Maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you're like, no, screw them. I hope they... No. For me, if you understand the mistake you made, if you understand why you made the mistake you made, you got duped, you didn't think it would happen to you, now you realize it will, and then you take that next step of, but I won't ever do it again. Because far too many times when I sit here and tell these stories, like the farmers, they voted for the guy who promised to tariff the world. And now they're saying, well, we're being decimated by this. This isn't fair, but I still support him. Nearly all of them, when you read those interviews that these, poor farmers have given, like, we're losing everything, but I still trust him, but I think he knows what he's doing. The Rio Grande Valley, not like that. They know he doesn't know what he's doing. They know they made a mistake, and at least they are pledging to not do it again. Not just with Trump, but potentially with any Republican ever again. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.